This video is going to be about a man who is trapped in time loop and lives his life over and over again. Hello. And welcome everyone to Movie Recap Story. Today I'm going to recap a movie titled Boss Level. Boss Level is a 2020 American science fiction action film directed by Joe Carnahan. The movie starts with the main character, Roy, who is an army soldier and is currently in trouble. The trouble is the time loop. He is living the same day over and over again. When he dies, his day starts again, and similarly, he has been living the same day for a long time. One day, a killer tries to murder him, but he kills him instead. The next day, a man sitting in a helicopter opens fire on Roy, and he responds to the man and kills him, as Roy is aware of the whole incident a day before. Next, we see two girls driving a car, which kills Roy, and the day starts all over again. The next day, when he confronts those girls again, he escapes their attack and goes on. Another girl, who is a sword woman, comes in front of him. There is another killer who drops bombs on Roy every day. If he escapes from the girl and the other man, there is another man who also wants to kill Roy. Apart from these killers, there are also Germans who are after Roy, and they possess heavy guns. A doppelganger of Roy is also his killer, whose name is Roy number 2. Similarly, Roy has a number of assassins. If he escapes one, another will kill him, and so on. Roy has a wife, and she knows his time loop very well. One day, Roy makes a call to his wife, and he is told that his wife has been killed in a road accident. Roy daily goes to a hotel where he looks at a girl frequently, and he likes that girl. He befriends a boy there who always tells Roy not to do bad things. But Roy pays no attention to him and continuously looks at the girl. As the time approaches 12:48, many people come to the hotel to kill him. After that, the same routine follows. Roy sees his past, where his wife is working in her lab. She calls her husband and asks him to do a job in the lab as her boss tells her to employ more people. She takes a sample of Roy's body and hair, and all this is visible to her boss via a CCTV camera. She tells Roy about her mission, which is to set the time loop, and if that mission is not done properly, it can do harm. They have a son, whom she has been raising on her own. In the meantime, her boss's friend comes and asks her to send Roy out of the lab, as outsiders are not allowed in the lab. Before Roy goes out, she hugs him and tells him to memorize a word, Osiris. After that, her boss tells his friend to kill Roy, as he can tell anyone about the secret mission. The boss also calls Roy's wife and chastises her for calling her husband in the lab when she, too, is aware that no outsider is permitted. At night, Roy's wife calls him and tells him that she is going to do a big mission, but before she has told him about the mission, her boss disconnects the phone. Roy comes out of his past, and he goes to check on his wife's birthday gift. The gift contains a book whose title is Osiris. There appears to be a helicopter sent to kill Roy, but as always, he escapes the attack. Roy sits in a restaurant and reads the book. He sees his son and runs after him. In the meantime, all the computers malfunction, but Roy pays no heed to them. Then he sees the clock, and the time is 12:50, and he thinks the killers come at 12:48 daily, but today they are not coming. The killers come and kill him when he is there. The day starts all over again, and Roy goes to visit his friend at the hotel. Roy goes back to his past and realizes that when he was with the girl at the restaurant, he fainted and the girl put a device in his teeth. Roy then removes the device from his teeth, which was implanted by his wife's boss. Roy number 2 comes and kills Roy. The next day, Roy gets up, and he throws the device out of his mouth. With the help of that device, Roy kills his killers one by one, and he also calls his wife's boss via that device. He goes to the lab, crosses every obstacle, and enters the lab. Roy discovers that the mission his wife was working on is Osiris. Actually, her boss wanted to change time to become the king of the world. Next, Roy comes to the hotel, where he again meets that girl, at whom he always stares. She is a sword woman, and he asks her to teach him sword fighting. He kills that sword woman, who has long been an obstacle for him. He kills his wife's boss and goes to his son, but unfortunately, before he meets his son, the boss's people have already killed him. In the meantime, the mission has been turned on, which his wife's boss is working on. It causes destruction, and Roy gets killed. The next day, Roy wakes up depressed and decides to spend most of his time with his son because he has no choice but to be killed every day. Through his son, he comes to know that his wife is alive. He goes straight to the lab and beats up his boss's friend to inquire about his wife. Roy sees on the camera that his wife was murdered at 7:14 a.m., and in order to save her, he kills himself so that he can get up early the next day to save her. Before the time for his wife to get killed approaches, Roy kills all the killers and saves her. She says sorry to him for trapping him in a time loop because her boss had told her to do so. He says goodbye to his wife and goes into the mission that his wife has been working on. The movie ends here. If you like our effort, please subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. It encourages us to make more content for you. Also, please hit the bell icon so that you don't miss our new videos.